Welcome, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. I was like, what are you pointing at? Chad, I hope you had a good week. And before we do some housekeeping, cheers.
Cheers. Nerd.
That's great, Chad. Uh,
Yes, so for some housekeeping, if you like the show and would like to become a premium subscriber, please head on over to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. It's a monthly subscription. You get behind the scenes, ad-free interviews, bonus content for both our show and for the Kobolds in the Basement, member exclusive merch depending on the level that you give at, anything from stickers and coffee mugs all the way up to a hoodie. You also get access to our pre-show warm-ups, which is where Jake and I will have a drink and a shot or multiple while we talk about other things that pique our interest that just don't make it into the main show while we catch a buzz so that we feel better for the main show. This week we talked about the Hollow Earth theory and the possibility of life beneath the surface.
and I think both of our
Horizons were broadened
yeah,
from quick Google searches, which is interesting that I just want to point out that Google is free.
yeah,
I know
you can
most of
educate yourself.
our listeners know this, but there's a handful of
The
our
population.
listeners, like parents, cousins, friends, acquaintances, that don't know that. Um, so yeah, Google's free. We learned, and I don't think it ever fully convinced
It
us
did.
in a true Hollow Earth, but it definitely made us believe in more. It was a good conversation, though.
Not like not a civilization, but life under the surface. Yes.
Yeah,
Google it. Or,
it was fun.
better yet, listen to our pre-show.
Yeah, over at
Because we,
buymeacoffee.com
because
slash
we,
all things
because
nerd.
we Googled it and we talked about it. It's a good time. It really is a good time.
Yeah,
I love
we
those
we
conversations
tend
because
to listen to
yeah,
people much smarter than us and then talk about it.
yeah,
Uh, it's weird how that works.
yeah. Uh, all right, we're gonna move on here. The Vikings done. Season's done.
Oh,
Uh,
less funny.
Playoff game did not go against the LA Rams. Did not go as planned. Unfortunately, we got stomped. Um,
Yeah,
again,
they didn't even
because
buy us dinner first. They just fucked us.
yeah, yeah. We got fucking shit on the week before by Detroit. I think a lot of, I mean, this was a heartbreaking season because 14-3, you know, that's a really good,
And I could accept, losing to the Lions because they were two of those three losses.
and they're really fucking good. I
Yeah,
honestly think Detroit's going to the Super Bowl this year.
I
They
I
were
want them to now.
I don't, fuck them. Uh,
Well, that means
they
that
were,
like that's a team worth it, because we lost to them and they kick ass.
yeah, I know.
But also like fuck Detroit. I get it.
Yeah, fuck Detroit. But they are a really, really good team. Um, which is crazy because I mean, what, like 2 years ago they went like fucking like
That's
2-17 or
that's
whatever the fuck.
that's
Like,
that's ownership and management understanding what a good rebuild is.
good
Um,
for them, I guess.
yeah,
And I
um,
do love Eminem, but fuck that team.
yeah.
You can
Ugh.
borrow that Eminem. Uh,
Didn't even rhyme.
we lost. We're out of the playoffs. We're done. Next year, Sam Darnold has not accepted the offer that we gave him, which was $15 million for 2 years. So we may not have Sam Darnold next year. It's that JJ kid who was supposed to be our quarterback at the beginning of the season, and he
Oh,
got injured right away. That's probably going to be our quarterback next year, not Sam Darnold. Unless he accepts the offer, but then I don't know who are we starting? The kid that we're trying to build our franchise around, or
that
Sam
didn't play
Darnold,
the
who is
entire fucking
only
season.
signing a 2 year contract. You
Yeah,
know, um, don't know. Don't know.
yeah. Minnesota sports,
Fucking,
y'all.
it is the hardest thing in the world. I don't, nobody in this world understands how hard it is to be a Minnesota sports fan.
Dallas
You
Cowboy
get,
fans might. Chicago Bears fans might.
you just get your heart broken over and over and over again. And then when you do have a good season, guess what? Heartbreak is right around the corner every fucking time. It
Every
don't,
fucking time.
it don't matter. It
It,
don't matter. We had a damn near perfect season. We only lost 3 fucking games.
yeah.
I'm gonna get worked up. Take over.
Okay, well, let's talk about the season finale. Maybe the series finale. I surely hope
Of
not,
the
but
Vikings, of the Minnesota Vikings.
yeah,
Uh,
of Skeleton Crew on Disney Plus. I really, really loved this show,
yeah.
but I was. Don't get me wrong, the finale was awesome,
Mm.
but I was disappointed that they didn't answer a lot of the questions that we had the entire fucking season.
But in their defense, I think they were definitely betting on another season, but it sounds like, much like the Minnesota Vikings, we are not gonna get another
More.
season here.
Well, the Minnesota
Not a,
Vikings are still going to be around, but
ugh, why? Um, anyways, yeah, so it sounds like the viewership was very low for Skeleton Crew, and they are not planning on renewing a season two based on that, which is a huge bummer because I really enjoyed this show.
yeah, Goonies in space.
Goonies in space.
John Watts
Yeah,
writing and directing. Like,
it was so much fun. And I want the answers to those questions. I
yeah,
want them. I need them.
they're my answers and I want them now.
Who is Jod? You had read something that I thought was intriguing.
Yeah, it's definitely not my theory, because this went over my head, which is a bit disappointing for how big of a Star Wars fan I am. But there is a theory out there that Jod is the long lost Kenobi brother, the younger sibling of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because when Obi-Wan was taken from his home to go to the Jedi Temple, he even says in the Kenobi series that he barely remembers his family. He knows that he had a baby sibling. He thinks it was a brother. What happens if the Jedi Council never goes back to his shithole world that he's from and finds that his younger brother is also force sensitive? Because we know that Jod is. He
Yeah.
was trained by a Jedi that survived Order 66 and was later hunted down by the Inquisitors. I like this theory.
I do
It
too.
and also like it provides. I mean, it's still like legacy Jedi families from like the core. So I'd also be very okay if he was just a random force sensitive kid.
Yeah.
But
It's it's kind of funny because we originally thought in the beginning of the show that he wasn't force sensitive at all. We thought he was using like tricks to like
like
trick the kids into thinking he was a Jedi.
yeah, like Kumail did
Yeah.
in the Kenobi series, how he just had
Mm.
like magnets and
Yeah.
stuff like that to
Yeah.
show for it.
Yeah.
Turns out he is force sensitive, but
Hmm.
we don't know who he is. And
Yeah.
somehow Palpatine came back.
Yeah.
Um, sorry, that was.
He had a blue, red hot lightsaber.
I don't remember. Where did they find the lightsaber in the
At
show?
Crybaby Craig's.
Too soon. There's still a fair amount to cover here.
What? No, there's not.
The entire pirate invasion, the fact that the supervisor was just a droid, and they've been isolated so long that they don't even know about the Empire coming to power and then falling. Like they've just been hidden for generations.
See, we're all caught up. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Yeah, they definitely left it open for another season. But we just don't. Fortunately,
I
we're
want
probably not gonna get one.
I want more. But
But that doesn't mean that we won't get these characters back in another Star Wars project.
that's true.
So, yeah. Or maybe they told everything that they wanted to tell here, and then it'll carry on My Wayward Son, you know?
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know. I really like I really like Neil.
Neil, he's just
Probably
adorable.
stealing the show for me. And I really liked Judd. I know he's a bad guy, but you could tell that he like has some reservations about being a total dick.
Yeah,
You
like he
know?
does terrible things because that's how he knows how to survive.
Yeah.
But like he hesitates and is like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Probably because he was trained by a Jedi, at
Yeah.
least through like the Padawan learner phase. So he has the reservations because he understands the importance of morality, but he also understands that sometimes you have to be an asshole to feed yourself
Mm,
in the galaxy.
yeah. Speaking of feeding yourself in the galaxy, can I fucking do this now, Chad?
Yeah,
Uh,
I like that one better than the one you tried to do earlier.
I do too, actually. Uh, speaking of feeding yourself in the galaxy, we're going to talk about our title sponsor, Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything and everything. Listen up, we'll tell you more about it.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today. All right, friends, it is time for Trivial Nerd Suit. This week's question is for Jake. It's provided by me, Chad. If you'd like to submit a question to try and stump one of us, maybe win some stuff, reach out to us over on our website at www.allthingsnerdpod.com/trivialnerdsuit. Use the contact form. Just mention who the question is for. This does go to a third party, so we can't cheat. Jake, are you ready?
Ready?
All right, here comes the question. Since Blumhouse is recreating, to some degree of quality or lack thereof, classic monster movies, it has been announced that they will be producing a horror-themed mummy film. Who was the original actor that played the mummy back in 1939? And bonus, if you know the name of that mummy.
Let me just walk out into my hallway real quick.
Well, hands up.
And I'll have that answer for you. Um, fuck. It is it's literally framed in my living or my basement living room. Uh um 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 um. Okay. I failed, but let me go look and I'm
Wait,
gonna
wait,
come right
wait.
back.
Let me give you the hint
Oh, the
because
hint. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
funny. Um, the hint is you have this poster framed downstairs in your living room, and the mummy was the same like mummy from the 1999 version for the bonus
Okay.
part.
Oh, so it's Emotep.
Yep.
Okay, and then I'll have the answer for you in 5 seconds. Hold on.
Not only is it framed down there, he's got two framed. One's a small 8 by 10 and one's like a full like 17 by 36. Let's see which one he goes for.
Karloff.
Yes. Which of the two mummy posters did you look at to get that information? Because you
The
have
little
two of
one.
them.
The little one. The big one, I looked at the big one first, but it doesn't have
Oh, it
any of
doesn't.
the it doesn't have any of the actors on it.
You got up and
I
ran
looked at
away and into the mic. I was like, he
I looked
has.
at it and I was like, fuck. And then as I was on my way back, I was like, wait, there's another one. And then I was like, oh.
As you walked away into the microphone, I was like, he has two. One of them's a little 8 by 10. One of them's like a full size movie poster, like a 17 by 36.
The
Let's
full
see
size
which one he
does
goes
not,
to.
Yeah, the full size one does not have the answer on it.
What's funny is for you to go and look at the full size one, you had to walk past the little one that had the answer.
I literally, if you could imagine it, I literally ran past it and I looked at it and I was like, no, this one's gonna have it. And I looked at the big one, and then I was like, God damn it, this one doesn't have it. And I had to go back to the little one. Fuck.
Huzzah.
That was fun.
Woo! Well, if
yeah.
you'd like to try and stump one of us, if you're able to stump one of us, we're trying to figure out exactly what sort of giveaways we're going to do. It might kind of be a pool sort of thing that the longer we go without.
We're not giving you a pool. It'll be a hoodie or a t-shirt.
Well, the longer that we go without getting stumped, it might build up to like a hoodie. It might start with like a coffee mug or a shot glass.
Might build up to a pool.
We're good, but I don't think we're that good.
All right, well, let's get into some nerd news. We got a lot to get through this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. What's the first one, Jake?
Uh, fuck you. The Mummy. You are an asshole. Just let me check your assholes.
I can do it myself, asshole.
So the ongoing Blumhouse, or are they all Blumhouse?
The past two have been.
Yeah, the Invisible Man and now the Wolfman. They are gonna make a mummy movie, but they're planning on making it more of a horror movie. I think we mentioned this already, but what we didn't mention because we didn't know at the time is that they're planning on making this more like the past couple franchises, Tom Cruise and Brendan Fraser Mummy movies have been like action slash comedy. Uh, they're planning on making this a very scary version of the Mummy. And we'll talk about the Wolfman in a little bit, but uh, so far, these movies have not been fantastic. The only thing that gives me some hope for the Mummy movie is that it is the director of the past or the past one and the upcoming one, Evil Dead movies. So Evil Dead Rise and then the new one called Evil Dead Burn. We'll talk
And
about
that
that
is
also.
Sebastian Vanacek.
Sebastian. And those movies are terrifying and fantastic and gory, and I love them, and that gives me some hope that. And
Oh,
I want to see a scary mummy movie. I'm sick of this action shit. Let's do something better.
Sebastian Vanacek, who is tied to Evil Dead Burn, did not direct Evil Dead Rise.
No?
No. I looked it up so that we could say his name, but
You're fine. I'm not mad
he
about it.
wasn't tied to it.
Oh,
It was Lee Cronin who was attached to Evil Dead Rise, and that is who is doing the Mummy. So the director
ah,
from Evil Dead Rise, Lee Cronin.
gotcha. Okay, cool. So I swear I read that. Yeah.
This is why the internet is helpful.
But yeah, I thought Evil Dead Rise was amazing and scary and gory and gross and everything I want out of both the Evil Dead movies that have come out, plus the original. I don't get me started. Uh,
But the
I'm ex
rebooted ones have had one thing that definitely gets me. I'm coming around to enjoying more horror films. It's
He's not. He's
I'm
not.
I'm trying,
I have to watch them with him in order for him to watch
or I
them.
have to watch them in the middle of the day. Um, I'm not gonna lie about that. Um, but uh, I'm trying. But they've had a lot of like body horror, like the razor blade to the tongue,
Mm-hmm. Gore,
not
fun.
yeah, like but like body gore, not just like I'm gonna slash you up and it's gonna be gory.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be graphic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can
I
get
love it.
I can get behind that so much faster than the stuff that reminds me of the if you look at naked pictures on the internet, you're gonna go to hell and this is what you're gonna deserve forever.
Yeah.
The church trauma shit.
Yeah. I'm excited about this. I want to see a gritty, scary mummy movie, not an action comedy mummy movie. I want to see this. I'm
Yeah,
really
I
excited about this.
I don't want a mummy to roar at the main character and him be like, ah, and
Yeah,
then punch
back
him.
at it. Yeah. God,
I do
the
love those movies though. Like
I loved the first two. The third one was for me, but
was that the one about uh like the Japanese emperor one? Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I only saw that one once.
Jet Li
See, I don't
was
even
the
remember
emperor.
that, which
Yeah.
is I love Jet Li, but
No Rachel Weisz
yeah,
because she was like, nah,
yeah, I'm done.
nah,
I'm better than
nah,
this.
not you, Seamus.
Ah,
Uh,
poop. That's twice.
you did. Go, give us the next one.
Well, we already mentioned Sebastian Vanacek has been set to direct
Oh.
Evil Dead Burn. And you're the one that told me that you saw like a test photo or like a teaser photo.
Some sort of image. I don't, and I can't back it up. I have no, there's no credibility to it. but it looked very demonic with like blood coming out of its eyes, and then it's just the next slide was the um, cover of the script that said Evil Dead Burn. You know,
Yeah.
I am
Necromicon.
I'm so
Necromicron.
excited. I wonder how they're where the who, what, when, where, and the why and the how. You know, like what's it going to be about? Where is it going to take place? Is it
Yeah.
going to tie into the other two movies? Like, give me something. I want to know more
I mean
now.
I
It's
mean
my movie and I want it now.
the Evil Dead to Evil Dead Rise like didn't
Not even a little
t-
bit.
other than the fact that they kind of showed how the book got from one place to the other.
To an audio tape.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like on vinyl. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. I want to know, or I want a divorce.
I wanna know. Can you hear me?
Okay, you've been fucking referencing Tarzan all fucking day. Fuck you.
That's twice.
Yeah, and all day. You did it earlier today. You did it now in the PM. That's all day.
All dirt. All dirt. 29.
We got a official trailer, not a teaser trailer, but an official trailer for Daredevil Born Again. This shit looks so fire. I'm channeling my inner 22-year-old. It looks fire, bruh.
Bruh.
Uh,
Bruh.
dude, it looks so fucking good. I love Charlie Cox. Um, as Daredevil. I don't know how I would have handled a reboot and a new actor like doing it, but god damn it. We get a Frank Castle. John Bernthal is in the trailer, so we know he's reprising his role.
Hmm.
Obviously, Kingpin. What's that guy's name? God damn it.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The bug from Men in Black.
I'm sure he's so happy to be remembered for that.
Well, if you're listening, because you definitely are, I'm sorry. Um,
But still, if you're listening, we are sorry and go subscribe to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnoom. You can afford the top tier.
yeah, you can listen to us talk about Hollow Earth theory. Uh, dude, it
Uh,
looks so good. I mean, this looks like I don't know what the rating is on this, but I mean, there's bones snapping,
it has
blood.
to be TVMA. There's
We
no
have
way that it's not.
multiple villains, multiple villains. From what I could see, we have Bullseye is back, same actor.
Yeah,
Obviously
Wilson
Kingpin.
Bethel.
Yeah. Um, what
Uh,
was that face for?
there is an
I didn't even have my
an
Google.
actor. Her name is Janaea Walton. I don't know anything about her, so I'm sorry if it's not she her. Um, but her this actor's uh, character name on the rap sheet is BB Ulrich. Uh, Ben Ulrich from the original series. So is it going to
Hmm.
be daughter, niece, something like that?
No idea.
Which is cool. We also get baby Gandolfini. I don't remember his first name. Uh, is reprising his role, and Michael Gandolfini, um, which is very intriguing. There's rumors that he is meant to be Wilson Fisk and Vanessa's child. Um, but I mean, he's a grown ass man at this point in time, so who knows who he's supposed to be? But I mean,
We also have White Tiger as a villain in this.
I don't know if he's supposed to be a villain because I think just another vigilante out there. Because depending on the adaptation of White Tiger, they've been hero, anti-hero.
Oh, that's not who I thought it was. That's not
Oh, are you
who's
thinking of
the
Muse?
Muse
Yeah,
villain. Yeah. They don't show on the cast list who is playing Muse. At least on the cast list that I have pulled up.
they don't have it on the IMDb one though.
Ooh.
Yeah, go on.
Ooh, what if it's somebody that we already know?
That could be crazy.
Like, oh, I bet it's this motherfucker.
Go on. Who is this?
Jeremy Earl as Cole North. Let's see. Let's see. We can figure this out right now. Muse, uh, Marvel name.
Who is Jeremy Earl?
Dubbed by the media as Vincent Van Gogh for his horrific murals painted in human blood, Muse is a killer and an artist who wants credit. He charges the public to view his work until the legal system disrupts his business. Vincent Van Gogh is the name of Muse, his actual name. So I don't think they're gonna tell us that.
I doubt it. But oh, what was I gonna say? Fuck.
Sorry, bud.
No, you're totally fine. Oh, speaking of Muse, we get some glimpses in the trailer of, I mean, Muse uses like blood, bone remains, and stuff like that to. He's like a super gory Banksy, right? But in it's the only reason I saw it was because someone posted and they zoomed in on a part and they're like, "Oh my god, is that Spider-Man's face?" Uh, like like in his artwork, but it's the new Punisher skull with like the horns, like the Japanese inspired one.
Ooh, fuck yeah.
Because there's also rumor that with this bringing back Frank Castle and stuff like that, that they're going to address, you know, the police and military uh, co-opting the skull and how he's going to react to it.
Yeah.
So by showing like that zoomed like that clip of it where it has the tusks and it's the Japanese mask,
Yeah.
showing that he's deviating from it, I think is
Yeah.
really fucking cool, and it needs
It
to
is really
fucking
cool.
happen.
This is yeah. If you don't know what this is or what we're talking about here, is that some douchebaggery people out there are using the Punisher logo to
Support the thin blue
su
line flag.
support yeah douchebaggery. And
Tomato
the
potato.
author of the Punisher was like, no, the
You're missing
Punisher
the point.
would the Punisher would kill you.
Yeah.
He wouldn't like you. So the author or and whatever writer, artist, whatever, made a new logo that deviates from the original logo, um, which is much different. And that's what we're talking about here anyway. Sorry, I'm not trying to
Yeah. Marvel art
steamroll you,
director
but
John Romita
yeah.
is the one that changed it.
Frank Castle is against the establishment.
Yeah.
He would not be okay with racist douchebags using his symbol for uh killing in the name of sorry, had to.
That
So they
was
changed it. So they changed the logo and um apparently from what Chad just said, there's a new that new logo will be in the show and they will address why and that's awesome.
I don't know. We don't know if Frank Castle will adapt it but it might just be like a teaser for this. But I
Mhm.
really hope that they go with it.
I hope so too.
Uh,
Marvel's pretty progressive, dude. I think we'll be.
didn't used to be. But yes.
All
Sorry.
right, move on. Next one.
Okay. And then we also got a new Captain America Brave New World trailer. I guess that I missed a trailer somewhere in the middle
Nothing
because
newish.
when I told you about it, you're like, "Is there anything new in it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then you watch and you're like, "There's nothing new in this." And I was like, "I missed a trailer somewhere then," which is shame on me, but I'll admit it.
All good.
But we do see his kinetic suit, with
Hmm.
the Wakandan kinetic technology, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah. I'm curious. I have a lot of questions. I'm stoked to see it, but it's been through some rewrites and
Yeah. One thing
yeah.
that I didn't notice in earlier trailers is when we see Harrison Ford transition into the Red Hulk,
Hmm.
that as he's like gripping at the carpet, like it's burning underneath him because
Hmm.
that's a very Red Hulk thing. I just never noticed it before until this new trailer.
Yeah, he's hot to go for sure.
H O
H O
T
T
T
T O
Harrison
G O.
Ford. Oh,
Oh.
Han
Yeah.
Solo's hard to go.
He doesn't like that. Don't do that.
Sorry. Indy Jones is hard to go.
I don't
Because
think he likes that either.
he loves Indiana Jones. He's over. He's over Han Solo.
Anyways, yeah, this looks really good. We'll see it, obviously. We'll review it with, you know,
Bells on. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, it's less than a month away. It comes out on Valentine's Day, so Jake and I will be having dinner and a movie. Uh,
No, we'll see it
I
after for
no, I'm
sure.
gonna see it by myself. I'm seeing it on
No, you're
Valentine's Day.
not. No, you're not. You watch that movie without me, I will fucking cut your other ball off.
Oh, buddy! No one knew about that.
They do now.
Take the
Um,
next one, I guess. Just move on.
Severance season two. I didn't watch season one, so I don't know much about it, but it's out.
It's something
Go
that
watch it.
it's weird to try and describe it. Just go watch it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. They
This,
sever the ents, and it's a whole
oh,
season of it.
Treebeard
Now two seasons of it, but
and Friends. Also, new season of Mythic Quest is out as well. Really enjoyed that show.
Rob McElhenney.
Yes, basically acting as a CEO of Blizzard or World of Warcraft. Um, the first few seasons were fucking hilarious. Um, because he's a bro and he's running a very nerdy computer game company, and it's great.
We also have. This is just a rumor right now. There is no confirmation on this, but a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie, with Johnny Depp, set to reprise his role. I think that Disney owes him this. They fucked him real hard
Yep, they were very
with,
quick to sever ties and pass judgment,
yeah. So, um, put
and
him in
that
that
entire
movie.
franchise is nothing without him.
Yeah. Nobody wants to watch a Pirates of the Caribbean movie without Johnny Depp in it. Why would you?
No one wanted to see a Pirates of the Caribbean movie until the first one. They're like, "Oh my god, Johnny Depp!" And they're like, "He's
Yeah.
not supposed to be the main character."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Well, he can be moving forward."
Yeah, and then they made it without Orlando Bloom and it was kind of whack.
Yeah, then they're like,
But like
"Yeah, but what about the other guy?"
Yeah, but like Johnny Depp was still, and they're like, well, let's try to push this franchise without either of the main characters. And people were like, nah, that's gonna be a no
Boo,
for me,
you
dog. Yeah.
whore.
So, and yeah, Disney, fucking do your shit.
You have the money.
Give give that man his job back. We
Give
love Johnny Depp.
give it back.
Yeah,
Just give it back.
give it back.
Also, we should be getting a Malcolm in the Middle revival reboot. Not a reboot, but like a
Revival.
yeah.
There
Uh,
you go.
Shut up. It's getting the Fuller House treatment, but hopefully they do it better than Fuller House.
Everyone's doing this right now. Everyone's doing this right
Yeah.
now.
But I
The
love
only
Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, I literally just rewatched it a couple months ago, because Nicole had never seen it at all, and I was like, we should watch it, and we did, and I fucking love that show. It's so fucking funny, um, and yeah, and it sounds like everybody's coming back for it. Frankie Muniz, like everybody, Bryan Cranston, woo, um, as Hal. But yeah, it'd be a good time. I'm here for it. Hopefully, it's only like a one and done kind of thing. Oh, and the non-rapey Masterson brother is coming back.
I didn't know that there was a Masterson brother in that show.
What? You know Francis from Malcolm in the Middle? That's Danny Masterson's brother.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
he just isn't not the rapey one.
yeah. Good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Because that's bad.
Yeah, it's very bad, very bad. Um, the other thing we know is there's a Maggie Gyllenhaal is
You like how I
making
spelled that
a
out for you?
yes, I saw it. Is she has her version of the Bride of Frankenstein slash Frankenstein. Christian Bale is playing Frankenstein. This is very interesting to me. I don't know how I feel about it. It's been described as like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of adaptation of Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein. So I assume they're just gonna be like running around like killing people and causing havoc.
Kind of
I don't
feels
know.
like you're
Again,
missing the point of
yeah,
Frankenstein's monster and the
yeah,
bride, but
yeah.
eh,
We
it
shall see.
could
There's,
still be entertaining at the very least, right?
I'm sure. I mean, Christian Bale is very decisive is a good word to use for the
Yeah.
roles that he takes. I have not seen a lot of bad Christian Bale movies. So I don't know if he would sign on for something like this if it was not, if he read it and was like, nah.
But
What?
like
You got one? Let me
ter-
see. What?
Terminator Salvation,
I thought Terminator Salvation was fucking dope. Fuck you.
it's been so long since I only watched it once, and I watched it right
Yeah.
when it came out, and I was like, "It's gonna be a no for me, dog."
The only the only thing that screwed up Terminator Salvation is that they completely disregarded it when they made other Terminator movies after that. I thought Terminator Salvation was awesome.
And also, there was a
Visually, the
lot
story
of
was good.
really bad press about the movie
Yeah.
because
Well,
of
that's because
Christian Bale
Christian
exploding.
Bale.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fucking ripped some poor kid a new one on the
I'll
set.
give it another chance, but I haven't rewatched it since it
I
came out.
will I will too, actually. I think I need to at some point in the next like year here. There's so much I love my wife. I really do. She's the best. But she hasn't watched a lot of shit. Uh and so I'm constantly like, you haven't seen this? And I have to like make her watch like an entire like franchise of fucking stuff.
And
Terminator, I
and
promise you. Even though
also,
I
no
haven't had the
offense to
conversation with
her,
her yet.
you have to like take breaks throughout it because she's like, we watched two of them. Can we watch something that?
Yeah, yeah. It's like no,
You have
you
to
got to
watch
rib them
them
with my
all.
tism. Yeah.
uh,
So I just found out. I told you about it the other day. I just found out like a few days ago. She has never seen a Western, and I was like,
yeah,
babe. I'm like, you're kidding, right? And she was like, no. She was like, no, I saw one, and I was like, what was it? And she's like, I watched it with you, and I was like, what was it? And she was like, it was the one with Shia LaBeouf and like Tom Hardy, and I was like, Lawless? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, that's not a fucking Western, babe. Like, no. You gotta watch like True Grit or Tombstone, uh, Quick and the Dead. You gotta watch
I did
some
download
like
that. I
old
haven't
school.
watched Quick and the Dead yet, but I did.
Yeah, you haven't seen it. That's
I
right.
haven't
That's
seen it, but
good.
I did very legally download it.
Good. Watch it, please watch it. Watch it
It's
tonight or
on my
tomorrow.
list. Yeah.
It is, it's so good, and it's not like your typical. I mean, it's a Sam Raimi who normally does horror movies, uh,
That's right.
Western movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Russell Crowe, Sharon Stone,
He's Russell
Gene
Crowe.
Hackman. It's so fucking good. I love it so much.
I will
And when
watch it.
you watch it, you're gonna see the Sam Raimi come out. You know, in like
That's what you
Spider-Man.
were. That's what you're
Yeah,
talking.
you see like the just the weird camera angles
In the
and the
zoom in on the
close-ups and
eyes.
yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of that in it. It's really good. But it's like zooming in on people's like hands because it the whole movie is about like uh tournament, like a
Quick shoot.
pew pew, yeah, tournament. Um
Pew pew.
yeah, it's really really
I
good.
think we
I
can go
love
back
that
to
movie.
saying guns now that TikTok's been banned. So
Yes. Anyway, sorry I got a little carried away, but I loved Terminator's Salvation. I thought it was really good. I love Anton Yelchin, and rest in peace, Bud. And he's in that. Sam
I
Worthington.
forgot that he was in that.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Helena Bonham Carter or whatever.
Bonham
Uh,
Carter.
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Boner Cartel. Yeah.
Oh, whatever, dude.
She's like a long term, like older lady celebrity crush of mine. She's like my Helen Mirren to a lot of people. Well, let's move on from some nerd news, and we saw a new movie this week. It was The Wolfman.
The Wolfman.
Spoiler alert. It was okay. I had to give it a little bit of a pause, so if someone wanted to like
I,
back out, they could have, but I didn't want to
I
give them that warning, because it was.
I had such a when we went into it, I was like, this movie's gonna suck dicks. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be so bad. And then because I went into it thinking it was gonna suck so badly, I was like, oh, this didn't suck as badly as I thought. And then when we talked about it after, I was like, oh yeah, it did. It sucked.
They did some cool things,
Yes.
like once or twice, and if they would have kept that,
It was like 3 or 4 times.
but if they would have kept the more in depth breakdown of the cool aspect of it, it would have changed uh, a lot of the sentimentality. I think.
What they did was there was a few scenes where, as he's going through his transformation, his
Oh, Wolfman.
the Wolfman transformation, he is unable to understand his family anymore, like when they talk to him. But they are also unable to understand him when he talks to them. But what they did was they did this like cool, I thought this part was really cool, is they like flipped the perspective of who was talking from what he is seeing and from what his wife, Julia Garner, is seeing or in hearing. and he's not making sense to her because he's just talking gibberish because he's like very sick and
Yeah.
transforming. And at the same time, vice versa. Um, but I thought it would have been they only did it actually one time, and it was the first time that they did it, where he could hear what they were saying, but when he tried to talk back to them, it was gibberish. And as the movie went on, it was gibberish on both sides. And I think it would have been really, really. We had a conversation. You and I had a conversation about it, literally on the ride home from the movie.
Yeah.
Uh, is it would have been really cool if we could have seen, and it would have been like really like kind of like heartfelt too, if uh when he was talking back to his family in his perspective, that he was saying something like loving, and you could understand what he was saying to them, and then vice versa. You could understand what they were saying to him, even though they couldn't understand each other. The audience would be able to understand what they were trying to say to each other.
Yeah.
But they didn't fucking do that, and I think it was a huge missed opportunity on something really cool, and it seemed kind
Yeah.
of dumb the way they
Well,
did
they
it.
kind of
Because
broke it, like what you were saying. They broke it down where one time it's just, uh, I should have looked up the actor's name, and I'm sorry that I didn't.
the husband,
Yeah,
I got you, boo.
where he's laying in the bed, and it's just Julia Gardner, who also fucking crushed this role.
Well,
I was pleasantly surprised, but
Christopher Abbott.
Christopher Abbott, where like she's talking to him, he can't understand her, and it's from her perspective. So the color grading is it's like a dark room lit up by just like a bedside lamp, whatever, and then it flips and like because he's transforming, like he sees better in low light, stuff like that. And then her voice becomes muffled. You can't really understand it, like what you were saying. And he's talking to her, being like, "I don't know what's going on." Uh, but the other time is like when his daughter, who he always said like throughout, like what what am I thinking right now? And she like touches his head, and it's a very like cute moment between him and his daughter,
Mm,
and that's like the only time that he could like understand her.
mm.
But they kind of like the TV show Warrior, which we both when we were talking about it after the movie, uh, reference is like how it's almost like a 360
Like
camera.
the camera changes, yeah.
Yeah, as it like circles the room to change the perspective,
Mm,
the language barrier changes,
hmm.
which was really cool. But yeah,
They could have made a very sweet like transition into him declining as the Wolfman
yeah,
by like doing that camera change and having him say something very sweet to his wife or his daughter. Even though they couldn't understand him, the audience would have been able to understand him, and vice versa. They could say something back to him, and the camera could switch back. A conversation that they're having with each other, but they can't understand each other, but us as the
yeah,
audience would be able to understand it. I think that would have been really, really awesome, and they just didn't do that.
yeah,
And I think they missed a huge opportunity with that.
yeah.
Yeah. Also, I am very pleased to announce that I don't hate Julia Garner. I just hated her character in Ozark.
Yes.
I I literally leading up to this movie, you and I talked about it, and I was like, I mean, I want to go see it. You know, I love horror movies, and the Wolfman, like the classics. You're gonna remake it, whatever. I have to see this movie. Um, and but I was like, I cannot fucking stand the actress that's supposed to be in this movie.
Yeah.
Um, but it's only because she is a very unlikable character in the show Ozark. Uh, and that is the only thing I've ever seen her in. And then watching this movie, I was like, Yeah, okay. She's alright.
Yeah.
And
I thought
because
she
we
did a
talked about it,
fantastic
we
job.
talked
Yeah.
about it early on too. Is that I was worried about her being a version of the Silver Surfer because I was like, no, no, not this chick from Ozark. I can't stand this chick, you know.
Yeah.
And now after watching this movie, even though the movie itself was not good, um, I am confident that Julia Garner can play a version of Silver Surfer without pissing me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She did a really good job. And I take back anything mean I may have said about her. I don't think I said anything mean about her as an actress, just about that character. But if I did say anything mean, I take it all back.
Yeah.
Godspeed, Julia Garner. Can't wait to see you as Silver Surfer now.
Yeah. Uh, it makes me want to see more of her credits. Like,
She was supposed to play Madonna in the biopic.
oh, really?
Yeah, but it got canceled or pushed back or something. So maybe it's still happening. I don't know. But
Yeah.
she was supposed to play Madonna,
Okay.
and she looks like a young Madonna. That hair, that's that's
Yeah.
her thing. You
Yeah.
know.
The curly blonde.
Hmm. Anyways, the movie Sink or Sail. What do you think?
I mean, sink,
Sink.
but not as quickly as I expected it to. You know?
You and I had a conversation about this. And I just want to mention this uh, real quick before we could we can move on. But the one, so there's a couple things I would have done differently that really would have changed the tone of this movie. And I don't think I'm like a screenwriter or a director or anything like that. So I'm not discrediting the people who made this movie. You guys made an enjoyable movie. I had a good time. Whatever.
And the Wolfman
But
looked a lot better than
yeah,
from like some of the
yeah.
promotional images that we saw.
Not
Could
not
have
by a whole lot.
better than looking like fucking Rumpelstiltskin, you know? But
Yeah.
continue though.
Um the couple things that I mentioned, well, one I already mentioned, the camera switch thing where they should be able to not understand each other but like communicate with the audience
Hmm.
better. I think that would have been really cool. Um and then they did what was the other thing? I said something
A
to
handful
you.
of the very unnecessary foreshadowing that doesn't actually foreshadow anything.
Yeah, no, but there was something that I was like, they should have done that. This is how I would have ended it, and I don't remember
Oh, with the
now.
mushrooms.
The mushrooms, yeah, it was the foreshadowing. Thank you,
Yeah.
Chad. Yeah, they did this weird thing in the beginning of the movie where, like, the opening scene is a bunch of ants eating like a wasp or
Yeah.
something like that, which never fucking comes back up in the movie ever at any point. And then they do this other thing where the main guy,
Christopher
Christopher
Abbott,
Abbott, also known AKA
the
Blake
Wolfman. Oh,
from
yeah, that
from the
too.
Wolfman, yeah, uh, that his character's name is Blake in the movie, but um, would they do this like flashback where it's like him and his dad's kind of like an abusive Republican or asshole, and what? What did he say? And and there's this part where his dad like yells at him and he's like what are you doing over here by yourself? Like there's these mushrooms over here and if you eat these mushrooms, you'll be dead. You'll be dead as a doorknob. And they like zoom in on the mushrooms and everything. I literally leaned over to you during the movie and I was like, "Oh, when he turns into the Wolfman, he's probably going to eat those mushrooms to kill himself." Because
Yeah.
he doesn't want to hurt his family. And you like gave me like a nod of approval, like, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, that made sense.
They never ever in the movie revisit the mushrooms. It has nothing to do with anything in the
Yeah.
movie.
The
It
entire
was like
scene was just to show that his dad was an asshole, but then
just a Republican.
the
Yeah, it was
rest
the weirdest fucking
the
scene.
rest of that entire flashback just delivered that point anyways.
Yeah, it was just the weirdest. They just did these weird like scenes in the movie that just never tied back into the movie, and it was like I understand maybe like wanting to be like a creative director or whatever, like storyteller, but like what?
Yeah,
It just didn't make sense. The mushrooms never come back up. The ants eating the bees never come back up. It was all for naught.
yeah,
So I would have done things differently, but whatever. I'm
yeah.
not a movie maker, so let's go fuck myself.
Well, on that note, let's go ahead and close out this episode. Yeah,
hmm
awesome.
But before we close out this episode, we are going to talk about our honorable mentions. Chad, what do you got?
So I have a lot this week, and I try to jump in there very quickly so that you wouldn't be like, "That's great," and then move on.
That's
Um,
great, Chad.
fuck. uh, I rewatched Gladiator 1 so that I could watch Gladiator 2.
Mhm,
And by that I mean I watched those in opposite order.
mhm.
Um, I also went into Gladiator 2 with very low expectations because you're like, this was shit.
I
Um,
didn't say it was shit.
you
It
just,
just
it
wasn't.
was copy paste. I mean, it really was. And a lot of
Yeah.
things didn't make sense.
Sharks in the arena.
A rhino with a sharpened horn, yeah. That immediately was like, I'm not going to fight you anymore because someone is no longer on my back.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. It, it was a miss. Still fun, but it wasn't good by any means either. I do want to see more from Paul Mescal.
Yeah.
Um, I've been just as like a comfort watch. I've been going back through Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I did rewatch War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. Um, I still like that movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I
I love
mean
that
it.
movie.
It heavily. I mean, it was like Tom Cruise as the Mummy. You know, like it's more about Tom Cruise than the story. But that's okay. It was still
Disagree. Have you seen the original?
like, did I have I listened to the old radio broadcast or read it, or
No, it's
because
an older movie
I've done those.
with Tom C. Howell. Tom C. Howell? That's not right. Is that right?
Is that right?
The dude who played Pony Boy in The Outsiders. Are you looking it up?
I am. Not the 2005 one.
Because
Not the new
there's
TV
there's
series.
two. There's one black and white version, and then there was one that was in like the 80s with
But it was like a TV series, right?
no. It was a movie.
Okay. Well, either way, no.
Something Howell, the guy who played Pony Boy in The Outsiders.
Let's
He
go.
was also in the first Amazing Spider-Man. He's the guy whose kid got attacked on the bridge, or Spider-Man like saves his kid on the bridge,
Oh no, shit. That's the
and he
same dude.
operates the cranes later on in the movie.
Pony Boy. See Thomas Howell.
See Thomas Howell. I was pretty fucking close.
He was
Yeah,
in you said the 80s?
I think so.
Sure, now my internet wants to go slow. Well, let's at least get before 2005 when the Tom Cruise one came out.
Was that 2005?
It was.
Fuck me, bud. I'm old. That's when I graduated high school. That was 20 years ago.
I was a freshman in high school that year, which is
Oof.
wild, but
Not
I don't
go faster.
see anything about War of the Worlds with that dude in the 80s. Now I'm in the 90s. Ow, 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 ow.
Ooh.
Fuck, fuck, fuck. Stitches are catching. Ow. Sorry.
Oh, you motherfucker. My keyboard died.
Well,
Just
either
go
way,
fuck myself.
no, I didn't uh,
Yeah.
see that old school one.
All
Um,
good.
but there is a new series. It was on BBC um, that came out in 2019 that I would like to
Yeah.
watch. It's just the War of the Worlds like radio show and book, are a little bit different. Um, not as focused. Like it was almost broadcast as like an actual like news thing, kind of like
Yeah.
the original Cloverfield
Huh.
was, where it's like,
I'm aware.
yeah. But I mean, I still enjoy the movie. It was still a great movie. Young Dakota Fanning, Tom Cruise, just fucking killing it. Um, yeah, that's about it. I really enjoyed it. Uh, for like the 17th time I've watched it. I love the movie. And then
It's a good movie.
I finished watching Arcane finally.
Yay. What did you think?
I fucking loved it. I don't want it to be over. Um,
Well, it's not over, but
yeah, you said that they're working on like a spin-off with Echo and Powder. And
yeah.
you told me that before I got to the split reality episode. So now I'm kind of hoping that we get like a split reality
Mm.
season where of that dynamic.
Oh, I wonder if maybe that's how is still alive
Hmm.
rather than like a cop out. Like,
Yeah, of surviving yet another massive explosion.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that person.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh, what about you? What do you have for honorable mentions? We spent a lot of time on that. I'm so sorry.
So no, it's okay. I finally finished What If season 3. Awesome. It was
Yeah.
awesome. I think my favorite episode was the Western. Speaking of Westerns, sorry.
No,
But
that's how that
basic,
conversation came up, right?
basically
Yeah.
Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop in like a old school Western, like, ugh, that one was so dope.
Yeah, that was sick.
I called it right away too. Nicole and I were watching it, and the Red Hood or whatever, I was like, it's his sister. And Nicole's like, no, that looks like a guy. And then the hood came off at the end, and Nicole was like, damn it.
Did she not see Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings where like his
She
sister?
did. She did.
I know. We
Yeah.
went, all of us went and saw that movie together. I know
Yeah.
she saw it.
Um, um, what if, and then what the fuck did you write down for me?
Ice Age.
Oh yeah, Ice Age, yeah. One and two. And then the other movie I watched, which was actually only my second time watching it, was Focus with Will Smith and Margot Robbie. The movie kicks ass, dude. If you haven't seen it. I know you have seen it,
Yeah,
but for our listeners,
yeah,
if you haven't seen it, the movie's dope. And it's free to watch, like on
yeah.
streaming services. Like it's so good.
And during
Before
our
that
our
was and that was before he slapped Chris Rock, so you can still like him pri- prior to that. Now he's a fucking bitch, but
but there was something else that during our little pause there that you wanted to bring back to the Wolfman.
the
Uh,
Wolfman. Oh, I thought it was really that was one of the biggest things that I was annoyed about in the movie was that, and we talked about it, is that they ignored every tiny little bit of lore behind the Wolfman.
mhm.
There was no full moon. The guy changed in a matter of like the whole movie takes place in one night.
Yeah,
So from the infection which is in the beginning of the movie, to full transformation is within
Couple hours.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Wolfman looks terrible. It just looks like a cancer patient with fake teeth and just like the thinning hair and I don't that fuck. Now I feel bad.
They
It
tried
just
they
looks
tried to do
really, really
some
bad.
cool things with the transformation, like him dislocating his jaw.
Just for it to look normal again after dislocating it.
He just
It was
he
bad.
really wanted the underbite, okay?
Yeah, it was so bad.
I don't know why I'm
Just
arguing for it. I did not super enjoy this movie either.
it was so shit, dude. The way it looked was just so bad. The full moon they completely disregarded. Um, their silver bullets, not a thing. You can just kill it with anything you want, apparently.
Yeah, like a
Um,
22 rifle,
yeah.
which doesn't even
And
kill a
and
man a lot of
if
times.
it dies in as a wolf, you stay wolf. You don't transform back. Uh, I don't know. This movie was not it, which is a
His
bummer
wolf
because
strong.
yeah, it's a bummer because the this is supposed to be like a shared universe, and they did the first one was the Invisible Man with what's her name? Not Kate Moss. Is it Kate Moss?
Yeah, it was Kate Moss.
Yeah, Kate Moss. But it was a tech suit instead of
Potion.
being like a potion that that the guy couldn't like come back from, which is what drove him crazy to begin with, is that he couldn't change himself back. It's 0 and 2 for me.
Maybe with
The Mummy.
yeah, with Lee Cronin
Yeah.
makes
Maybe.
makes good horror films. It just
Yeah.
but he's just set to direct, not to write.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
comes down to the writing at that point in time.
You're 0 and 2 right now, fucking Blumpkin house. Uh
uh, you said
Is it still funny? Because I made that joke when we saw the movie.
you you made that joke as we're walking out of the theater, and you're like, "You're 0 and 2, Blumpkin House," and I laughed just as genuinely that time too.
Yeah.
Well, for our listeners, again, thank
I
you.
almost took that. I
Yeah,
almost took
you did. Thank you again for listening. Please like, share, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to be a premium subscriber, I saw that. Uh, head on over to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. Also, check out allthingsnerdpod.com. Our website has been revamped by Marty over at Digicat Tech. It's way better than what our old website was. So if you need help with things like that, reach out to him. He's really good at it. Also, if you like live play, actual play, tabletop RPG podcast, check out the Kobolds in the Basement. It is an All Things Nerd production. Above all else, though, we just appreciate you. Thank you for being a fan. We love you. And this has been the All Things Nerd podcast.